Cavecast, the uncensored show for nerds of all kinds.
A little bit of housekeeping before we officially dive in. I just want to say a huge thank you. We both do. Just
Absolutely.
A huge thank you for just breathing life into this channel. We understand it's, because of Sleep Token.
Sure.
Because this is a big thing to talk about right now. They have a new album coming out, But regardless, we're building our audience and we really appreciate you guys being here. And we've got great ideas for things that are either going to be music related or going to be kind of some fun stuff, whether it's with friends or if I'm having you on or whichever. But it's just awesome. It's cool to just see how much you guys have interacted, and you guys love the first couple of breakdowns that we did, especially when we did that one Caramel podcast where we thought we were going to do Tomb and that didn't happen.
Not. Yeah.
But it's time to just dive into this album, no pun intended that it's an Ocean album, which is terrifying to me. But this is genuinely one of my favorite albums of theirs. I think it's Eden and Tomb. I've said before that Tomb is my favorite album, but I find that Eden and Tomb are neck and neck, and it kind of depends on the day, but I usually do fall on Tomb.
I was going to say, I think I have more songs on Eden. Like I only have maybe like 2 or 3 off this album that I quote like repeat, if you will.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But actually one of them is Atlantic.
Really?
Yeah. So it's weird. It's actually kind of a newer one for me as a repeater, kind of like how Car Radio for 21, even though we've been done listened to it.
Right.
I don't know. It was just one night, like I was on TikTok or whatever, and just going through a lot of the stuff that, we already can play and stuff. And Car Radio was the one I was like, oh yeah, this one is good. And then same with Atlantic. Now we had already gone through the album again. Now I will say I am a little worried because I actually have not had a lot of time to listen to a whole lot of music, and I'm a little rusty. I have not really listened to this album since like
the previous week.
The previous week when we did Caramel instead.
Right.
But this album, to me, is still really good. I think you're right. I think it's the other album I would probably listen to the most after Eden.
Yeah, it's just it has a little bit of everything.
Sure.
It's from the very almost cinematic opening that we get with Atlantic, and then a very chill acoustic vibe with Missing Limbs. There's so much that happens in between, those two songs. And really how we've, looked at this trilogy is, this 3-part journey of, the discovery of Sundowning, of she's here, this, this thing that's bad for me, I can't let go of. And it becomes this, super negative thing. There's even, the idea of blood sport, that's like, okay, was it a physical thing? Was this all emotional and mental? Yeah. But regardless, I've always looked at Tomb as suffering. It is, I think, when Vessel has been the deepest within this story, no pun intended, even like as we get, to Descending, which is it's funny on the video, it actually has the Mariana Trench. It has the measurement for that, so it shows like that we're the deepest that we can go. There's a lot of really cool symbolism in this album, but man, suffering. When we think about just being stuck in that, we both have been very open about the things that have happened to us in the past, and I think that that's something that we relate to all too well. That life is just the way that it is, and it will never change. But this album kind of gives us an artistic way to be able to view that. Yeah. And to know that even though the cycle is repeating, there's still a chance that it can end, but it depends on you. Well, but if anything proves that how it's been is that he can't get out of the cycle.
Exactly. And what's weird is being a newer repeater for me, in a sense, for Atlantic, I'm catching more things. And we've talked before, guys, and I don't know how true it is. I'm pretty sure I have seen certain things on Vessel, actually, like on stage, that I want to be very careful with the words I use still.
Sure.
Let's just put the emo. I know that's a funny thing to say. Self-harm. Let's put it that way.
He definitely has some scars. There are some things.
So,
yeah.
I didn't have this highlighted, but the whole after, so flood me like Atlantic, bandage up the trenches.
Oh, sure.
I'm thinking.
Oh, shit.
I don't know. I think this has a lot to do with some of that. Well, I don't want to say a lot to, but I think this has some to do with that as well, and part of the lyrics, because the fact of like, it was weird that he says at the beginning, "Call me when they bury bodies underwater."
Yeah.
Well, bro, what the fuck? Why would you say
Why would you want to be there?
Yeah, why would you say that?
Yeah.
And but it's like, I know that it can be also a like metaphor on things. A lot of his lyrics can be, but with the fact of seeing actual physical things on Vessel,
Yeah.
and then hearing at least even one line like that, why would you say bandage up some trenches? That's deep. That's wide. That's big.
Yeah.
Bro, that was a good one. So that's where I was taking that specific thing almost immediately. I was like, oh, fuck.
Well, I think that now having that knowledge, because I never thought about it like that, I think that, who knows, man, maybe it's one of those that after the effects of sundowning, you know, that self-harm became a thing.
Sure.
Or, you know, the idea of that, because like we've talked about too, that, you know, the possibility of there being a car crash or something, like something, if we're going to go with that idea that wounds need healed, something bad happened. There's like, it's the idea of that. I feel like that it's almost kind of this mentality of that, you know, this traumatic event, and now I'm sinking because of it. And it's like, you're like, it's that idea of like, oh my God, does that mean that he's losing blood too fast? Is he dying?
Right.
Is this, you know, the idea of like, no, like these are the scars I have, but I need better bandages, or, you know, like, I mean, it's just, this is what I love about it, is that like you can literally like look at this a Rubik's Cube however you want to, and and take it in. And it's just, for me, I feel like the first part of this, you know, song really is just letting us understand that, yep, it's a place that we're all too familiar with, but now the setting has changed. And for me, it's like, nah, man, depression has begun. This is the plummet.
Because think about it, if you like with the whole, I almost don't know if this is the right or wrong way to think of it, but the whole with the trenches, anything to get me to sleep.
Yeah.
I don't know. Am I taking that in the fact of because he wants to be unalived?
I would,
you know,
well, I would honestly look at it that, in my opinion, I think that it's going back to the night. I think it's just the idea of like, no, man, anything to get me to sleep, like give me something.
Sure. But it was just the fact that it was following that line.
Oh, sure.
Where it was like, it just one of those, like anything to get me to sleep. Like, I don't care if this is what I got to do, because this whole song can kind of even, it flips around so many times, I feel like, because even when you come to the part I have highlighted here, guys.
Where we got Hearies as well too. So
yeah, hey Hearies, that's right. The YouTubies, the Viewies, and Hearies are back.
Yep, we are officially back on that, man. We are on Spotify.
What's up, fuckers?
We're on Spotify. We are on Listen Notes, which I've never heard of. Well, Apple Podcasts is still giving us a problem, which I don't know why.
We'll figure it out.
We're trying to fix that. They're processing it. We'll be on there as soon as we can. But if you're in the future and listening to this on Apple Podcasts,
here you go.
But anyway, so
but no, he just in the fact of I'm trying not to crush into sand, so flood me like Atlantic and weather me to nothing. Wash away the blood on my hands. So he's still, again, I know that can also be a metaphor, but what if it's also real?
Yeah.
You know, like there's a lot of real symbolism here as well. That was one of the biggest things I had highlighted before this was actually one of my repeaters. Like this didn't become a repeater until after we really sat down and listened.
I've actually been listening to the EPs a little more.
Really?
Since we've done the podcast and stuff, so I've kind of discovered my own stuff too.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
So that's what I had from this one, though. It was just the fact of like she's breaking him down so much still, even at the beginning of this. It's almost like it's still that back and forth of love and hatred from that other person or that other thing.
Well, I think that this one is the symbolism in this one is very interesting, especially when we get to the second part of the verse where he says, "Marry in the morning, earn your bitter fodder. It's easier to try not to eat." Again, this symbolism of mouth and teeth, and like, you know, when you eat, you have to eat with your mandibles and with your, you know, your jaws. But it's interesting that that's in here. Especially I've got on here "Drag Me Under," which I can't remember why I wrote that one down, but I'm pretty sure that lyric associates with that. So somebody in the comments, let me know. It's easier to try not to eat, drag me under, see how that connects. I'll probably find it afterwards and be mad at myself. I can't remember it.
Yeah.
But it's just, especially with that idea of it's easier to try not to eat. It's like, it's better to starve. It's better to not nourish yourself with this thing that is so delicious and that is so like, well, delicious for a time. You know, it seems like. Especially when we get to they talk me through the damage consequence and how it's a pain they know they don't understand. He's reached out to people, either that or the other prey of hers that's around him. And it's the fact that no one can help me. This is the beginning of my journey and I am already helpless.
Yeah.
That
right.
is
right.
It's especially too when we get into when we get into wash away the blood on my hands, what that kind of makes me think of is Rain, where he talks about the salt on his hands. So it's especially when we see the video for Alkaline, because we've talked about that before, where he does like the hand, you know, kind of like like choreography, you know, that like controlling the different things. Like there is a big emphasis on hands, in my opinion, starting with Tomb. That we get into, especially with Eden, where it's kind of like, wow, okay, like Rain, like that's what brings us right into Take Me Back to Eden, where it's like, so wash away the dust from my hands. Like I don't know what all that means, but it's just very interesting to think about. But
well, maybe somebody's hands were weapons.
Sure,
you know, like maybe that was. Again, I never want to assume anything, but maybe there was some type of like abuse or something like that, because again, like I would say, you know, you use your hands for that, but like I don't know. You're right. There is very much a lot of symbolism with hands, the words being used for hands or stuff like that, biting, all of that stuff, right? Yeah. So
he likes his appendages.
Yeah. Well, it's weird because you're right. Like in Alkaline, that video, it was always weird. Like that whole like puppet thing that was going on. It's like, well, what? Okay, but what are you doing?
Right.
Why are you doing this?
How do you have this power?
How do you have this power? Because I've been now wondering, because I was talking with somebody and I'm like, because they were like, I said something about maybe Vessel was the narcissist, and somebody said, well, what if Sleep is the other side of him?
Oh, shit.
And I was like, yeah, that's why I was like, you know, if he's the narcissist, maybe this is him trying to get away from himself.
He realizes what he is.
Right.
A long time ago.
Now, again, guys, that is a brand new theory that I and like one other person was kind of saying one day on a live, but we were just kind of playing off the fact of, I was like, well, maybe he was the narcissist.
I won't lie. I like the implication only because it is such a mind fuck.
Yeah.
That Vessel, you know, himself is Sleep, or like how people have said it more so with Caramel, but like how they're like, what if we're Sleep? Is that I think those are intriguing.
I don't think it's the truth either, but
I think it falls apart after a while.
Yeah,
but it is kind of a cool thought.
It is, but because it was like, you know, with how he lyrically does things, it goes so many ways. Yeah. It goes so many ways.
But honestly, with this is that the way that I kind of looked as the way to tie a bow on Atlantic is especially when we get to the end, which is don't you wake me up, don't wake me. Is that, in my opinion, it's just the thought of the song is just do your thing, flood me.
Yep,
we're here. It's like stop wasting my time.
Yes,
and then we both know where this goes,
and it goes straight into hypnosis.
And how interesting is it that now he is not only trapped, he is completely hypnotized. Yeah.
And all I got here was that I wrote at the top is she got him again, and the fact of it starts off with like lift me out, like lift me up, lift me out. And so it's like you were saying how Atlantic stopped with, you know, don't wake me up with that kind of like echo or whatever, because you're being hypnotized. Now you're here. So don't fucking wake me up, because this is where it's supposed to be, because and he knows it. He knows he's being tricked, I feel like.
Yeah.
I think it's pulling that wool over.
Well, I think that's the thing I mean, I don't know if you agree with this, but, you know, having been with a narcissist and, you know, people that are manipulative and everything, is that you're fully aware.
Yeah.
You're fully
Yeah.
aware of everything, but you fight tooth and nail to try to keep
You
yourself
think it'll
in
be
it.
different.
Yeah.
You think that
we
all
talked,
right,
man. Like,
yeah. You did that one thing and it started to get a little bit better and it always goes back. Like it's just, I don't know. Yeah, absolutely, man.
Well, it's especially with this is that, again, like I'm going to keep coming back to this, is this idea of worship, is that it's interesting the verbiage he's using here of lift me out of my own skin, of all my doubt. That borderline with some tweaking could work as an actual worship song where it's like, take away my doubt, give me faith, like that type of thing. And when we get into the second part, and take from me, leave nothing left, take everything. Clearly, he has no control anymore. It's interesting is he's saying lift me out of the ocean that I'm trapped in and sinking in, or is it lift just like kind of like build me up, make me feel good
again? It could be any way. And then again, so another thing I guess I didn't realize until now, he does not with just even the mouths and stuff and teeth. He talks a lot about blood. Okay.
He does. Yeah.
He said, and just split my skin. No, just make me bleed.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, well then there's blood sport.
Oh yeah.
And then there's missing limbs. And then there is then there is over here on Atlantic where it's just like, bandage up but I'm just saying like
the trenches. Yeah.
Right. So there's a few other things that kind of symbolize that too. But I think the thing is that it's like I have here where it's like he does understand where it's down here where it's like, you hypnotize me always.
Yeah.
He ends it with, it's not just you hypnotize me, it's always.
Yeah.
There is no ifs, ands, or butt fucks, dude. But there is.
She is keeping him trapped.
She is keeping him trapped and he knows it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, even with all of the things prior, that whole verse or two, if you want to say at the beginning, negates everything, whether it was good or bad that he knew, because you hypnotize me always.
Yeah.
It does not matter what you go do or what's been done or how much you hurt me with your words or your jaws or your mouth or your tongue or whatever it is. I'm going to sit here in the rain and wait. That's why he screams in the sunshine and sings in the rain, because it's what he's comfortable in, man.
Dude, that was honestly one of the smoothest things you've ever fucking said, dude. I love that.
What?
Dude, I can't even say it because I'm going to fuck it up. So, yeah. So what was it? Sings in the...
he screams in the sunshine and sings in the rain.
See, I knew I was going to fuck that up. But dude, no, seriously, it's so true, man, because it's like... You can't look at the lyrics and see that there's any place this man is comfortable.
Yeah.
You can't because the thing is that he is every once in a while, especially when you see like the, really like when we get to the rotation of things where it starts repeating, you hypnotize me always, when he says, and you make it more than I could ever feel before, where it's like, no, dude, the sex is that good.
Right.
Like it's like, cause I would argue that it's just like, even in her persona and who she is, she's able to hypnotize him, but then you start adding everything else on top of it. Now it's like, Don, dude, like you were dead before. Now you signed your certificate.
Yep.
Like it's like that. It's just doing nothing but sealing this deal of just being lost in this cycle. And the hypnosis, in my opinion, is just that other reiteration of like, yep, I still got you. The cycle's happening.
I don't want to say it's pretty simple, but I was going to say that one was a pretty straightforward concept, I think. Mine, I will say, again,
this one I'm torn on.
I would say, right. And I haven't listened to a whole lot. So I will admit, guys, I don't even remember right now, like even the tone.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have a few notes on here, but it doesn't matter. I still have lyrics and I know how Vessel is.
Yeah.
But like I said, just self-admittedly, this is not one that I ever really repeated a whole lot myself.
I think the best way to try, like jog your memory with it, because obviously we can't play it because of YouTube and everything, but it's just that that you will be my, that it's got that kind of groove to it.
Yes.
It's a very empowering song. It's a very you can't help but feel good when you listen to it, and it's I think that the lyrics, if we don't compare them to the lore, is that it's like, no, dude, it's a longing of, it's like, no, like you will be mine. You know, it's that, you know, that beautiful thing of like yearning for somebody of that. It's like, no, like,
right.
It's kind of like the, how did Corey Taylor say it when he said that for Slipknot was that he saw them performing on stage and he thought to himself, and he had never had it happen before. He thought to himself, I'm going to sing for this band one day. He's like, I don't know why. I don't know why that thought entered my mind, but he's like, for some reason I knew it. And I think that there's times in everybody's lives where it's like in a good way when you find that where it's like, no, like you're mine. Like, it's like you will be mine. But the unfortunate thing is that this is Vessel. This is Vessel either communicating to Sleep, or maybe he is longing for Eden here. I mean, it really changes up the dynamic depending on where, like, who you find out that he is singing it to, which I don't think that there really is much clarification, because I think things could have double meanings. But this one is damn, like it's just a good song. Like, I've waited, paralyzed by my own will, viciously reminding me still I'm born to believe. And especially when he says that you and I are a crashing course driven by a holy force, I know that you can see that you will be mine. That this almost implies that if this is him talking to Sleep, there's something bigger happening behind the scenes, even from her, where he's like, no, he's like, there's a holy force that has moved us. That no, it's like that. No matter what, we were going to end up here. You will be mine. Well, you know,
it's that one of the things I had highlighted was that whole, did you not say we were made for each other? It's one of those, you promised.
Oh God. Yeah.
You promised. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm back here. You promised, remember? So it was just like all of that with going with what you were saying was like, well, we were destined to be here. Like, is that him saying that to her? Is that to her or Sleep, or is that him trying to convince himself?
See, I think that's that now that you say that,
it's just like I don't know. And again, the whole double meanings where there's so much to unpack, guys. We could be 100% completely wrong on every single thing we have ever said about this lore.
I'm actually really terrified if Vessel does ever watch this, because I'm like, oh my God, did we fuck it all up? You know, so
he's just sitting there with his mask on, eating popcorn, going, nerds, that wasn't it. Nope, wrong.
Yeah, dude, this one is just this song is special to me personally, and then also like when you look at it through the right lens, I think it's a good one for that. But again, in the context, this man, like the longing of this, of that, like I think the way that I wrote it was him saying, "This is right. I hope."
Okay,
it's like he is fully, you know, given himself into this. But there's still that part where it's like, please God.
Is this
Please,
the right thing?
Like I'm saying these things with confidence. Speak this into existence. I need to feel better. Like,
bro,
I'm
going to tell you something right now that I don't know if I've ever spoke this out loud. Mm-hmm. Maybe to you, but I don't think ever online. And I don't care if you make this a short or not. I'm not going to name names, but an ex. Mm-hmm. There was a time in my life where I know where I was driving. It was going outside of where our hometown, passing by a dealership, if you will.
Yeah.
Big hills. Yeah. And I was going over the one big hill, and I was just like, God, if this is not meant to be, I need a sign. Like, if this is meant to be or not meant to be, I need some kind of sign here.
Yeah.
From this narcissist that I so want to be with, right?
Yeah.
3 days later, whatever it was, I got a big sign. Mm-hmm. A big sign. And I was like, oh, it is over. Mm-hmm. Oh, I am done.
Yeah.
You broke me for the last time. Mm-hmm. I refuse. And to this day, this person still doesn't get to see I will pick my daughter up and turn my back. Mm-hmm. You will never get to see my face unless it is on my camera, and you get to watch me be cool. Bro, I got the biggest sign of my life. Mm-hmm. So that whole, how you just said, like, God, please, I was sick of guessing anymore.
Yeah.
I was sick of being the vessel before I knew who vessel was.
Right.
And I was like, I just show me, do something drastic.
What's do at that point? You need it. Like you need something,
dude.
Something.
And I'm not kidding, man. Probably 72 hours. Right in the face, dude. A fucking fastball right to the teeth. And I was like, nope. I'm gonna go to the dentist, and I'm never showing you my face again. And that is what has happened. That is legit. Like, bro, the way you just said, like, I feel that. Now,
Dude.
maybe I need to re-listen to this song.
No, I think honestly you should, just because I think that this is the one thing that I'm discovering as we go through this is that there are moments that it's so difficult to go through this journey. And mind you guys, like, like not even just sitting here and, talking with you guys and being able to allow you to be the fly on the wall for the conversation, but there has been visceral, very real emotion that we have felt on the reaction channel reacting to this man.
Yeah.
And everything that he has done. And that story that you just heard him talk about is a Rolodex of terrible things that we have been through that always surface when we think of this band that before this, and I don't want to take any credit away from NF because NF was crucial to our mental health. But dude, nothing hits like this. Nothing is as real as this. Nothing is as raw as this. Vessel has done something that we didn't think was possible and that we didn't even know that we needed. Because dude, the sign thing, like, I think that I was in a very privileged situation to be able to receive my sign.
Sure.
Of, different things.
Yes.
And I think that, like with how God has orchestrated everything is that we say it all the time is that, that we have a plan. It makes him laugh, because it's like, like if I would have had the same plan that I had 5 years ago, I wouldn't be sitting in this room with you. I wouldn't have these mics in front of my face. I wouldn't be here talking to, however many people that want to hear our story and for some reason want to hear us talk.
Yeah.
But dude, like, I think that the human condition is that, like we can be as tough as we want. It's why I don't get into the whole alpha male beta bullshit, like where it's like, it's everybody, worships Andrew Tate and all this bullshit. And it's like, no, dude, everybody feels emotions. Everybody's like, everything sucks every once in a while. Like you're a broken person that just wants your mommy. Like you just want to feel better. Like, and I think that especially when that hits you, and you're deep in it. And it's like, I remember like having visceral thoughts to myself of like, I'm going to die like this. This is how I'm going to die. This is how I'm going to leave my life with all the things that, I'm ashamed of, that I'm surrounded by all the time. And nah, dude, they weren't ours. They weren't ours. And I think that that's something that I am thankful for every single day.
Oh, absolutely.
But
absolutely.
It's real shit, man. Real music. So not stealing that from NF, but it's real. But
absolutely.
Like that. This is a song that I think I said it in the reaction where there's two ways that you can take that phrase is that think about being intimate with your partner and building that momentum with everything is that it's like, yeah, you like that. There's a very seductive side to this. There's also a sadistic.
Yeah.
Where it's like the thing I'm doing to you, but also is this like borderline BDSM? Is it like I'm not saying like the song is about that, but like that type of just like the way his voice sounds, there's a growl aspect to his voice when this song ends of like that whole like him just being like, do you like that? Of like him just, like writhing and just like feeling it. So that's kind of how I've tried to view the song when I've listened to it again is that it's like, nah, dude, there's some complicated things that are going on in his head when he's saying that. So I think that it's a kind of an open song. You can kind of take it however you want to. But starting off with this is that it's trapped under the surface of your words, symbolism of water. We're in tomb. It's like this is an ocean album.
And under the surface of your words, again, that whole... somebody is hurting somebody with their mouth, words, tongue, their phrases, the thing. They are putting somebody down constantly. His symbolism for that type, like I said, mouth and things like that can have so many different meanings as well.
Yeah.
But the fact it's the first word out of his mouth is trapped.
Yeah.
And then even where you were saying, is it this whole like how he was saying it and screaming it? Because I think you are right with the whole is like, do you like this? You like this. This is what you want because I stumble into your tar trap in addition to your collection. Do you like that?
Yeah. You happy now?
Is this what you wanted?
Yeah.
Because I'll play your game. I remember that too, man, where the same thing where I was like, this is just how I'm going to live and die. And this is my life. Like I fight. We fight for 4 days. We have 3 good days. We fight for 3 days. We have 4 good days. They would make their rounds. So I would get left alone because this person, they were pissed off at these other 2 people. So they got the smoke for a little bit.
Right.
Took the pressure off me for a couple days. But I always knew it was going to come straight back around because you were done over here because you're done having your fun. Well, you ain't fucked with me in a few minutes.
Yeah. So you're overdue.
So now you're due. So I was just like, whatever, man. This is just how I have to deal. Fine. I'll sit in the garage and do this. That's how I feel. I'm in your tar trap. I'm aware I'm in a trap. I can move around, but it's super hard and sticky.
Right.
This is a very big inconvenience in my life.
Yeah.
That's where where it's like, fine, fuck it. This is what you want. This is what you like. This is what you're trying after. I'll fucking endure, whatever, however the fuck you say it.
Both are fine. So, but no, especially when he says new whispers that once could not be heard, catching your intention, is that it's almost like he's saying, you say things I now notice.
Yeah.
I'm noticing how bad this is.
Yeah, caught your intention. You're trying to be slick.
Yeah. So again, it's one of those that it's like listening to isolated things of like, do you like that? Like where it's like, okay, like, that could be, some people like pain. Some people like they get off on pain, but I think that you could take it that way, but more so revisiting this. No, I really do feel like that. You're right. That it is just the like calling it out where it's like I've had moments in relationships where like kind of like when like that whole thing, like there's that one thing you won't say, it's like where it's like, oh, that would ruin everything. Like it's kind of that Titus thing where it's like, fuck it, we were there. It was that type of thing.
Oh, I'll make you cry. I can always make you cry. I choose not to.
It's just like I remember a moment of it was with someone I was with, and it's like when you're in a toxic situation that saying I love you is a formal thing because I'm the person that you're with. It's like that type of thing.
Right.
And I remember it just came out of me was that I had this moment of that they said it to me and I looked at them and I said, we're alone. You don't got to fake it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember like I said it and I was like, I thought that came out. And that was a glaring indication that I was not okay. The situation was not okay.
Sure.
But it's the fact that it's like when you end up in those situations is that there's something about being wounded so much in a relationship where it's like you don't mind going to battle or like the type of battles that you have because no, I've got something to say this time.
Yep.
And I think that this one is just it's a clear indication of that, it's that idea of like I know exactly what the fuck you're doing. I know exactly what is happening.
The only problem I have that I always had with going to war, if you will, like you were saying, where it's like, well, because I've got the things, is that two things, like you said, where it's like you don't always, it's in the heat of the moment. Like I said earlier, I can make you cry. I choose not to because I'm trying to be a good person here and a good, like even when we're fighting like that, when we're in those situations. The problem I have is that I don't want to do that and I can. Mm-hmm. So going to that battle it's weird for me, but also, see, they put the chink in your armor. Mm-hmm. They know where it is. They know it's right there and right over here. So they already got the entrance wounds. No matter how much you went and buffed out the scratches.
Yeah.
The hole is still there. So that's where it's like, it doesn't matter. Like I can still go to war and make you do all the things that I don't want to, and cry and be upset because you're doing it to me. Now I'm stooped to your level, number one.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be, because I can promise you this, I'm better at it than you, and I don't want to be. And two, it doesn't matter. You're still going to fuck me up, and I don't want that either, because now I've gotten to so much of a point in my life. I really think I mean this in a not funny way. I think I'm bulletproof. I've been shot so many times.
Right. You had to have a thick skin.
I don't even need a bulletproof vest no more. You are not going to break. You as a person, as a significant other, will never break me anymore. Now, life in general.
Of course.
But
yeah.
And number one, Meg would never. That is not who that.
No.
But what I'm saying is that even towards the end of things, it was like, this doesn't even hurt anymore.
I don't mean to keep bringing him up, but even like when Titus said that him and his lady at the time had their fight, where he's like, we were fighting so long that we were just saying the same shit over and over again.
Yeah.
Where she calls him and says that he has a dinosaur head and that really bothers him. But 3 hours later, it's like, yeah, dinosaur head. I got it. Okay, fine.
Exactly. But no,
yeah.
and I think that's a big part of it is that even, I think that's also what's been happening with Vessel as well in his lore and these albums, is that we're seeing that happen. We're seeing him get shot 1,000 times per album. And how this is going to maybe end, I don't know. Does he get the same ending as, quote, we did, and he's now good? Or what if he's still in it?
I think that if Caramel is any indication of him saying, I thought I got better, but maybe I didn't. I think that unfortunately, who knows what's going to happen with the rest of even in Arcadia, but dude, that just, it makes me feel so bad for him, where it's like I think how you said it in the one episode where it's like, I just want to buy him a beer and just talk to him, like, it's like, no, dude, like sometimes you just need a hug. Right. Like a hug will break you. People that don't like hugs, sometimes hugs work. You know what I mean? Like, right. But in the same hand is that it's like, dude, I love the way that you said that, because I think that going through that stuff and being bulletproof now, which I don't think that that's something I would say that I'm at, or would necessarily call it that, but I get like what you mean is that it's like, it's the idea of like, nah, man, the same shit ain't gonna bother me, but I'm also not gonna put up with the same shit.
Sure.
But in the same hand is that it's like, nah, man, like, I know that I rest my head every single day, after I've thought about everything, like that, from my lady and I to YouTube to everything, is that when I think of you as my brother, is that it's like, yeah, he is bulletproof, but you don't have to be anymore.
Right.
And it's the fact that we both are in healthy situations of the fact that it's like, nah, man, like that's not even a part of our problems anymore.
No, exactly.
And that to me is the thing that like is just, it's satisfying in so many ways of just like, man, like I don't got to worry about my brother that way anymore, and it's
right.
Because we both had that,
right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm wondering if that's, with this being probably, keyword is probably, guys, what this is all about, these lyrics, these albums, that I hope he got the same ending as we did. Yeah. Or like I said, or is he, dude? Or is he still in this? But and going into that is the love you want. And all I really wrote down on this, guys, was, I think it was, I don't want to say self-explanatory, but I didn't even really highlight anything. Again, not much of a repeater for me.
Oh, really?
Not really.
Interesting. Think you know a guy.
Yeah. But like, I know that when we went through it again, I remember writing this down where it was like, basically, my love is good for you.
Yeah.
You know this.
I give you the best parts of me.
Yes. And it's like, and you were like purposefully refusing to either accept that or acknowledge it or anything in between. And again, I know that feeling. I'm not perfect. I'm not, and and neither is Vessel, but like, when you are truly giving yourself, and it's like, I'm giving you my best, but my best isn't good enough. What is your fucking problem? It was fine over here, or it was fine with this, but not that you got to compare, but it's like, why is it different?
Yeah.
And even at that, I'm probably giving more of an effort than anybody else as far as like what you were always comparing to.
Well, I think that the fucked up part is that, you know, like, especially like when we look at the beginning of this, where he says you lie an inch apart on your own continuum. She is so close to him, but so fucking far away.
Right.
And this is where we kind of get back into the normal thing of like how I really viewed Sleep Token's worship before was that he had the stream, she left, and now all the albums are a calling to her to bring her back. Now, what we've learned through the journey is that it's not that crystal clear, but
it's not.
In the same hand, this kind of in a way for me kind of almost like kicks it old school in that aspect where it's like even though like she's right next to him in bed or right next to him on the couch or right next to him in the car, wherever it is, like there's something really like intense, especially when you see the music video, which is one of the most artsy things that they've ever done, which is, you know, him with the samurai sword and tying off the ribbons and doing all these things and the choreographed dancing. And in a way, like it almost kind of gives me an idea of like, wow, like, is this the realm that Sleep is in with these trees that are red and like these blue highlights and all these different things? Like we very rarely get to see what that realm looks like. And only in like with stuff like even in Arcadia are we getting more of like a look into what that world maybe looks like or a world that is similar. But with the Love You Want, like there's just so many good lyrics in here. It's, you know, like, especially when we get to too many swallowed keys will make you bleed eternally someday. Maybe you believe that in the end you will be better off that way. Before I should have said this first, but before when he says, seems your heart is locked up and I still get the combination wrong.
Right. And
It's
that's
just,
where it's like
you're simply so saving your love for someone I am not. That's
that's also
God.
where I feel like I think maybe she cheated.
Oh, 100%. At this point, there's no denying it. Like she was unfaithful in some way. Even if it was emotional cheating, she was cheating.
Something.
Yeah.
And it's the fact of that's where it's like, I feel like that's why I wrote that, where it's, you know, my love is good for you and you won't take it, but it was good at some point. But then why did you step out of the garden?
Yeah.
Why did you
We could have stayed here.
Right. And it's like, so now it's almost, because where was it? It was the whole, like you said, the whole the combination wrong, where it's like I now used to know this combination had the key. Why did you take it from under the mat here,
dude? I think that's the thing that bothers me the most when I listen to this, because I mean, and there is obviously like the hopelessness of that. You know, you're saving your love for someone that I'm not. Okay, sure, we've all been rejected.
Sure.
To be so close to somebody, to share so much with somebody, to be as intimate as you can with somebody. I mean, all like, you know, check whatever applies to you. Like when you can no longer find the combination to your lover, when you can't even have confidence in that of something that was once fine, dude, like I think that's probably the most, one of the worst things I've ever experienced.
Oh, sure.
That's because it's one of those, like, you know, like, especially like when, you know, you're used to joking around with them or different things. And not to say that if somebody snaps at their partner that it's doomed. But
right.
But it's one of those that like, cause like Crystal and I have a very specific love language on how we talk to each other, on what we do, things that, like when it's like, you know, I love you too. Like, you know, that type of thing. But it's also like where we both know that we're okay. That it's like we have different ways to say things, you know, it's like it's nothing I'll share online, but it's one of those that's like, no, like but it is a different way to say I love you, almost kind of like Joel and Ellie went at the end of Last of Us season 1, where she says, well, I guess time heals all wounds, and he's like, it's not time that did it. That's how they say I love you.
Yeah.
You know, it's there's a way where it's like when you get into that groove and you understand, like, no, I'm safe. This is great. Like I can communicate. I communicate with this person in a way that only I know how to, that no one else has the ability to.
Right.
And then you look at something like this where it's like, and by the way, that doesn't work anymore. That is, dude, I've seen my friends interact with their significant other, and where it's like, they've had shit thrown back in their face. Like, don't say it to me. That's stupid. Or different things where it's like, do you understand what you just did to them?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it's like you're supposed to be their refuge. You're supposed to be their safety. You're supposed to be their comfort. Like, you're the arms that I cry in. You're the arms that I jump into when I'm excited because something big is happening. Like, dude, right. to make your combination no longer work with your partner is one of the most fucked up things that you can do.
Yeah, because you changed it.
Because it's either it was never authentic or it was, and now it means nothing.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it, where it's like, this is where I think that it proves more and more that it's either a relationship, or maybe there are some parts of me, I'm going to be careful on how I say this.
Sure.
They were just friends.
Friends with benefits.
Maybe friends with benefits, or it was they knew each other for a long time, and then some actual physical things did happen. And again, guys, all speculation. I think it still goes back to an actual relationship, but there are just some times where it's almost one of those, like, I'm just gonna let all these dudes just fucking, and I'm over here being like, hey,
yeah,
hello. Like like I said, there's a part of me that thinks maybe that could be maybe be the story here. But again, too much to go back in the fact of actual relationship, though.
Yeah, this is that's what's great about this, is that it's why we do these podcasts, and it's where it's like we want to get the conversation going. So it's like like we want to make sure everybody is putting in their 2 cents, because that's it. It's we learn so much from each other. Like, it's like I have very strong things I think are correct, but in the same hand is that he could also come out and go, no, this is all bullshit. It's like I wrote this album when something else happened to me with, like, my my mom or my dad or something, where it's like, who knows? Like, it could be completely off. But going after the love you want, I've been very vocal about this. Fall for Me is, in my opinion, not my opinion, but it's my favorite song. It is my go-to for so many reasons. It has evolved from what it used to be to what it is now. And it's interesting that it is the only song that is done a cappella, that there is no other instrument. It is just Vessel's voice, even though it is vocoded. This one is there's so much imagery already off the bat when he says, in a city of ice, there are burning cathedrals turning the skies into glass. Are you shitting me? That's where we're at right now. Like, it's like this, there's destruction around him. The world is melting. Faith is destroyed. If we're going to take that as, like, the cathedrals are disappearing, like, there's no longer, ironically, a place of worship. Like, these things are gone. And he says, and then he says, and through echoing futures are the buckling sutures that hold shut the wounds of the past. So back to bandages, being sutured, keeping these wounds tight. They're starting to break open. Basically, all hell is breaking loose.
See, we talked about this. I thought I took this as this first part up until he says, so when he says, so won't you fall for me? That's sleep talking. Vessel doesn't start talking until my insecurities surround me like a lions in the den. All of that, and then once you go down here to, oh God, I wish you were here. I think sleep is begging him. Like, it's one of those, he was like calling her bluff. Like, no, man, like, this is all you ever do.
Yeah, fuck you. I'm leaving.
You're just sitting here like, I'm in the lion's den constantly, and I'm already insecure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I heard something, and I think this is the most, maybe this implies, but like, best way to put it, people have ruined the word humble.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not humble because you don't wear chains and jewelry and stuff. I've been humble because I've been called not shit, ain't nothing, done all this. I've been humbled. I've got pain and insecurity still, motherfucker. I still ain't ever going to get over.
Yeah.
I've been humbled down to a nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where him talking about being in the lion's den and all of this, and why I cannot pretend that all of this stuff was him kind of like you said, fuck you. Mm. And then Sleep's like, oh God, I wish you were here, because she knows if she says anything, oh baby, please, he's going to go, okay, don't cry, don't do all that. Don't.
Of course, yeah.
So that's where I think it's that I can't listen to Fall For Me.
Really?
Is maybe what it is. But I don't know. Like, she's using her love against him.
I think that this one is interesting because it allows the perspective shift, I think, to be kind of anywhere. In my opinion, with the time that I've spent with the song, I believe that it's all vessel. That's how I would take it.
Okay.
Just because it's the only because of where we end up. Because it's this him. If we look at it through that kind of lens, where it's him asking her to fall, where it's like he's already talked about how she is in this realm that is above him, that is, that only exists during the nighttime, and this, and this, where it's like, you keep going back, just fall for me. Just be here. Like, just like fall, like lose your heavenly privileges and be with me. And it's
okay.
That's kind of how I've taken it. I think that there's also the other side of it where it's like, it doesn't have to be even the religious side of it. I think that also it's like, what do? You fall in love. I fell for him. I fell for her.
Sure.
Fall for me.
Well,
it's like genuinely love me, and especially when we get into the last two quotes where it changes up, where he says, with my love is your garden, which we've already seen garden, whether it's him saying you are a garden, or later on when we see Garden of Eden. Mm-hmm. It's interesting is that what do you do with a garden? You take care of it.
Right.
With my love is your garden. And for him to end everything with saying that I am yours to the end, so won't you fall for me? Like, we both know how this ends. Just be in this for real with me.
Well,
but depending on where you put the perspective, it can change everything. So it's a very, very odd thing,
Yeah, I was gonna say, my thing is that how it switched up was that I thought maybe in the fact of the beginning it was Sleep talking.
Sure, yeah. Which, by the way, I still think is possible.
Right. But then at the end, it's almost like kind of flipped around where she got him because it was the whole, oh God, in my opinion, oh God, I wish you were here. It's almost the fact of like a God is saying, oh God, I wish you were here.
They're almost blaspheming themselves, or like,
essentially.
Yeah.
But
a
and
God
then
that uses profanity.
Yeah. But then going through all that with the whole, like you said, with my love is your garden, won't you fall for me? That's now, again, Vessel is now doing it back in the fact of like, we're here. If I'm going to fall for you, you need to fall for me.
Sure. Yeah. This is almost kind of like the only time that they could have maybe had a possibility of common ground, where it's like, no, we need to be in this together. Yeah,
and then
I like that.
And then you go to Alkaline. Well, he fell.
Oh God, I didn't even think about that.
He fell.
Oh shit.
Now that's why he's the one. Maybe that's the whole point of maybe I figured it out, but why he can control the shit in the video.
I actually, what's funny is for the viewies, I know you guys are like, so Hearies won't be able to see this, but I actually have it in my notes. Was that, he's fallen for her again.
Yeah, that's all I wrote on here. He fell.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's Alkaline is one that we like. That one it showed up at such an interesting time, because I think that we were kind of like desperate to do Sleep Token, but we didn't know what to do in our reaction journey. And then I'm pretty sure it was Lola or whoever it was like, you need to do Alkaline. Let's like do it has a music video, take it in. And I know we touched on it a little bit earlier, but dude, I love the love that you want. I love Fall for Me. Like I love, like all of the music videos they've done before, even Calcutta. But dude, Alkaline is probably, in my opinion, the wickedest video that they've ever done. Wickedest, if that's even a thing, but the most wicked video they've ever done. Where it's like you have a spider that eats dudes and like these vines that come alive. He snaps a guy's neck. He like throws somebody like, against a wall. Like, and it's all of them coming upstairs with these guns that have lasers on them, which is very similar to the Luden that's in the summoning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that I think that there's definitely something to that. I just find it very interesting that Alkaline on its own, I don't want to say on its own, but if you were to listen to just select Sleep Token songs and knew kind of a premise of like, some narcissism, a relationship, all of these things, right? Bro, these lyrics, you can still tell that he fell with the fact of every once in a while something changes and she's changing me.
It's kind of like, things are all right.
And then it's too late for me now. I am altered. He knows I was this little church choir boy over here, and now I'm some emo punk. You know what I mean? Like you changed me into
there
something.
Was a metamorphosis that occurred.
100% now. And it's like, now you've changed me and there's something beneath. I'm now stuck this way.
Yeah. And it's interesting that also the fact that it's all about chemicals and everything. I would say he has been chemically altered.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's that to where it's like a trick now. You think that you think you love this person. You think this is how you are going. This is just how you live.
Yeah.
And I think that Alkaline is a very straightforward song, guys. I didn't even write anything because I love everything with it. But like, but then the fact of let's talk about chemistry.
Yeah.
Let's talk about.
Because I'm dying to melt through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I almost don't know how to take that though. If it's because of greed, or if it's because of like I'm dying to be with you. I'm so like I need us to be chemically balanced right here. I need this to be the thing we do together.
I think that honestly, this one is just if I could put one word on this song, it's fascination. Is that I think that it's whether or not he's realizing these things for the first time, or whether or not it's whether she has changed too, because it's like, oh no, she changed. Everything's better now. Like, dude, like he is just enthralled with her. Like it's like even like just with the chorus itself is that she's not acid nor alkaline. She's not a problem. She's not good or bad. She's caught between black and white. She's gray. I can't figure her out. Not quite either day or night. So it's kind of she's sticking around the day and the night now, like with her attitude and with her emotions, she's perfectly misaligned. So she's imperfect, and I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
And that's where this is where I also have a hard time deciding which way this goes. This line fucks with me too because I've done both. I see in a different light the objects of my desire. Now, I know it's plural, but I almost take that as like the thing. Are you seeing it going, oh, whoa, you're the reason I'm like this?
It's almost kind of, would you say that it's almost like fascination with a small moment of realization, but right back to fascination?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're seeing in a different, like a lot of times when you see in a different light, it's moving. So you can't, you're like, what, did I see that right?
Yeah.
Or it's the fact of it is coming more in the light and you're like, it's even more beautiful. So I don't know which way to take that line.
I think it could be both. Yeah.
Because it's the fact of I always try to figure out how he says, like how he's saying or singing things. But that one where it's like I see in a different light the objects of my desire, where it's like, is the desirable thing now not desirable as much because you're seeing it and you're like, well, that's not gold. That's pirate's gold.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Or was this was just a rock. Oh my God, this is gold.
I would argue, I think that moving into the next song.
So again, guys, that was a pretty straightforward.
Yeah. I mean, so if you're a Sleep Token fan, you've listened to the shit out of Alkaline. If not, you need to. What's wrong with you?
Distraction.
I personally think that it's the the fact that he is seeing rock than gold. That's where I would go with that. I think now, again, whether or not that is a good thing in the long run, regardless, that he is taken by it, and it's that ooh shiny moment of,
oh, well, God, I guess it goes into distraction next. So yeah, maybe that's okay. Yeah.
I would say because again, like anything can apply to anything, but I think that fits the narrative. Because we've talked about it in the other podcasts as well too, is that there is a big possibility that the albums aren't chronological always. Maybe the songs just fit a vibe or fit an emotional state. I mean, that's very possible. But with Distraction, this one hurts because I think that we've all done this. And I know it's skipping to kind of like the midpoint, but especially how he says it when he's falsettoed and how he is drawing out his words when he says, oh, and I swear she is not like any other, or something much more than I could ask for. It's that convincing thing of like, dude, like, you don't understand. She's not like them. Yeah. It's not like that.
It's different now.
And it's tough because I think that when you are actually there and that phrase can be said with confidence and you know it's true, it still feels sour when you say it because you've been trampled on so fucking much when you've trusted someone so much that you thought that they were different. Distraction is devastating. Yeah. This song is like, it is gorgeous. It is in my opinion, a very Hillsong worshipy kind of sounding song. It's got that kind of deal. But man, I'm broken into fractures and I'm driven to distraction. He is just, after Alkaline, she fucking destroyed him again. Yeah. And this is like pushing the clown to that envelope of just like, this is great. I'm here.
Hide behind the tears of a clown.
Dude, like this.
Been there.
The way that I said the note with the first verse was, "Oh, I know I can tell I'm falling further again, but I won't turn away. It's far too late for me." It's that thing of he's blind and knows it.
So I said, "It's too late for me now. I'm altered."
Yeah,
it's almost the same thing in this.
It's a continuation.
Yeah, right. But just in the fact of you just be the distraction and listen at the end. It's too late for me. It's too late for me. It's too like. It's too late for me now. I'm altered. Like, you know what I mean? Like, guys, I feel like this one kind of does. It's not. It is. It's almost like a continuation of that scenario.
And I think that it's, as a man, I think that it's a place that it bothers me when it's like, like when I know that I've been caught in that snare before, but it's like, that the idea of that it's like, no, man, it's like, this is beautiful. This is wonderful. This feels incredible. Where it's like, well, you're preying on my natural fucking things that should be done in a proper way. And it's that to me is, it's sick, Well, but,
even with that, like we were talking about how it's going back or going into everything, like, and then you go into Descending.
God, I love this song so much.
And if you're being distracted and the fact of that, I'm falling and all of these things. I mean, I know there was more than this, but my biggest thing was that second verse with the, you come crawling back to me, but I'm already on the ground. I have more than that whole verse.
That's the chorus. Yeah.
Sorry, the chorus.
Yeah.
But it's the fact of you're crawling to me because you know what you did. I'm already here.
Yeah.
I'm always here. You know where to find me.
Yeah.
Because I'm either beaten down or I'm crawling back to you begging for you.
Yeah.
Like a bitch. So and that we all know talk is cheap. Bitch, you say this stuff constantly.
Yeah, I've talked enough.
Yeah, I've talked enough.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be around. So it's just like, that whole chorus, like that was a whole thing where it almost is that point proven of both of them are very aware of the being down and being on like the scum or being, whatever it is, because you had to come down to be eye level with me. I'm down here with the ants.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you, oh, you think this feels good, then why are you still doing it?
Well, honestly, I don't know if I said this when we were listening to it all the way through, but to me, I feel like this is kind of the moment that Sleep stabs herself on accident. Like it's that, I think it's that funny Robot Chicken thing where some serial killer is like stabbing people and stabs his hand and he's like, oh my God, is this what I've been doing to people?
Yeah.
You know, it's that type of thing. But it's this stupid thing that happens where it's like when, again, it's not even just women that do this. It's people that do this. Right. People that make this stuff happen. It's that thing of like, why would you do that to me? It's like you already did it to me. Are you fucking shitting me?
Yeah.
Like
because he even ends it with it. So what would you do for me?
Right. Yeah. What would you do to make this never happen again?
Yeah.
You better fucking pay up.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's all I really have for as far as my notes on this one, because I did have on here a listen again note.
Yes.
Far as, but yeah.
Well, this one is interesting because like with not to put the meaning aside, but I said this during the reaction, but dude, this song, and it was actually, God, I can't remember when it was. It was probably like maybe a couple weeks ago that Crystal actually asked to listen to the beats with some different things because she has just like her inner earbuds.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, have you never listened? Have you never heard Fall For Me on beats? I'm like, oh, you got to hear that. But I can't remember if she said Descending was a song that she had listened to a lot, but I was like, all right, I'm going to do something. Just close your eyes and I'm going to hit it, you know, and then just like take it in. And seeing her like react to certain things that were going on. Descending has so many little trinkets and so many little things that are hiding. And it very much feels like the score from Subnautica.
Sure.
Like it has this pressure building in your ears that kind of releases and like these different things that happen from left to right. Dude, I cannot applaud Vessel enough on this song matching the tone of what this album is.
Sure.
That it's that you are sinking deeper into your depression and losing control. You are sinking into this ocean and you are fucked.
And you're fucked.
And it's just, dude, like this song is just, it's one of those that I've come back to, and even on Spotify, I'm not sure if it's still on there or not, but they actually have instrumentals of all the Sleep Token songs.
Oh, really?
And there was a couple of times I've listened to Descending without the vocals. Like, dude, like it's a banger. Like it's a straight up instrumental banger. Then you add Vessel on top of it.
Sure.
And it's incredible. So, but moving on to Telomeres. This is an interesting one because I know Telomeres has everything to do with genetics. It's like, you know, the ways that, you know, different things connect. School me if I'm wrong on that, but I do remember genetics. But when we think about this with the DNA and chromosomes, is that like, you know, they establish who you are, and it's the blocks of what makes us us. That's, you know, no matter who you are and what you do, this is what determines this is what determines that. And this one is very interesting, is that how he starts it off by saying, you guide me into safety and silence. As you breathe me out, I drink you in. After Descending, if this is chronological, she finally gave him relief. That I think that they found maybe some common ground, and
for now,
and just the way that I feel that it's almost like the embrace is safe. Right now, the hug that he is in is safe.
Yep.
And how much his heart just leaps for joy when he says, and we go beyond the farthest reaches where the light bends and wraps beneath us. And I know as I collapse, and I know as you collapse into me, this is the start of something.
Right.
This song has a major sound to it. It's happy. It's got this wonderful comfort when you listen to it. It has a killer blues solo that I'm pretty sure is Vessel, you know, that he's just rocking it out. But dude, this one is very celebratory, and it's just, I don't know, like this one is, it's interesting that this is where we get right before high water.
Okay, sure.
You know, so it's where it's like high water's coming, but we got Telomeres before that.
Well, of course.
You know?
It's always coming, man. Like that's the thing, is that we all know, and Vessel included, that this right here, it's for a glitch moment in time in the Matrix, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is never going to expand, elaborate, and or stay.
No.
because going back to that cycle thing, and it's just like with him still knowing, he still knowingly does the things, and that's where we've talked before, guys, and that it's upsetting. I feel for the guy. I feel bad. I'm half the time screaming at my speakers to don't.
Yeah.
Like with the whole, so come wrap your arms around me. I just remember, don't
fucking hug
do
her.
it.
No.
Don't do it. Whether it was him or her, don't let it. Don't. You're letting it back. Whether you're doing it or she is, you're allowing it to now embrace you again. You're fucked.
Just face the facts. We suck together.
We suck together. We are better partners in crime, basically, than lovers we can go do shit. We can go out and have a good time. We can even dare say even bang if you want. But like being an actual couple, day in, day out, living, it's not happening.
Yeah.
You have your own thing. I have mine, apparently. And we are not able. We are water and oil.
Yeah. It just does not mesh.
It does not mix at all. And I hate to say it, but it's apparently, I think he's the water, she's the oil.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm not trying to be whatever, but like, that's how I'm taking this.
I mean, if it's a spade, call it a spade. So,
right.
But, I mean, but again, it's like, however, that regardless of who's one or the other, they just don't work.
Correct.
They just don't.
Exactly.
But moving into high water, for the time being, I will still avoid my own questions, and we both bury that history deep, but I can hold my breath forever.
And I think
he's feeling resilient now. He's like, I can stay like this. This is fine.
We both know we both bury the history deep. That's another
we don't talk about that.
Inclination of like cheating. I think that there is too many small signs that give to that, and that was one that kind of caught me before too. But the fact of, I can hold my breath forever is that's fine, bitch. I'm a dolphin. I'll sit underneath this ocean while I watch you sit up there and scramble because I'll wait. I'll wait.
Yeah.
It's almost like he almost slightly has the upper hand.
Well, especially here is that because when you talked about the cheating thing, was that I think that this is one of the other moments when we were doing our listen through, bro. I was like, nah, man. I'm like, if you ever have evidence for cheating with her being, the issue is when he says down kind of like almost like, I don't know,
towards the end.
Well, yeah, kind of like end, like middle kind of place. But he says, and I know you still bear the weight of your own existence and you will never bear the weight of two.
Yeah.
Does that mean you can't bear this relationship because you can't take care of yourself and me, or are you fucking someone else?
Sure.
Like I think that it could be taken either way, but I think that it's more interesting to take a privileged veto thing. It's like, oh, say that it's this, but it's just, man, like it's high water is in a very ironic way where it's like shit's bad, but it's kind of him just being like, I can wait this out. Like you're like, I'll be the dolphin, like you were saying, like, and it's just the different things that I've written here where it's like, he's comforted by regret, whether it's like basking in the solace of regret. Like, why would you regret something and like it? There's that confusing part of it. There's also, he knows that he's like, it can't happen. Like he's like even at the end of this, as he's holding his breath and he's doing it, where he says, "For the time being, I will admit my defeat again. I will accept that I can't pretend that we will ever be together."
Yeah,
and now I can't hold myself together. Now he needs to swim for the surface, right? And I don't know if he can make it.
He's got missing limbs.
He can't swim, and
so
he can't swim.
When you've got anything, I don't give a fuck if you got one, both, or one or the other. Like if you got, like you said, you can't swim, dude. Like
I honestly, I didn't even think about that, how that implies.
So like,
holy fuck.
You have that, whether a metaphor or not, but that whole, these names have a meaning. Mm-hmm. So the whole high water and then, missing limbs.
You can't swim.
You can't. That's exactly that. That is a metaphor that is built into knowing what the metaphor is. If you pay attention, he is the Da Vinci of lyrics and song names, dude.
Yeah.
Like that is a joke, but it is not. Like ha ha, but goddamn, man. Like if you have to pay attention to things like that. But again, is it all just coincidence? Maybe.
Well, it's honestly,
but no.
I don't mean to toot our own horns here, but it's one of the things that like it really frustrates me. And I'm not going to single anybody out because that's the reaction community doesn't need negativity in that way. But it frustrates me when I watch reactions that all they do is listen to the music of Sleep Token.
Correct.
Which, by the way, is not wrong.
You're right,
but dude, you're
right, but you're wrong.
You're missing so much,
You're
dude.
missing so
like,
much.
Dude, like, stop talking about how they bend genres. Okay, I'm sorry. That's old news. We know they do that. They're going to blow us away. We get that.
Yep.
Pay attention to the story that's being told.
Same with NF.
Dude,
same with
for
21
real.
Pilots. Like I hate because I've seen people, and I won't name names either, when they're like, yeah, I just listened to the. Then why are you listening to the song? Like I get that, but if you're not reacting to like wanting to hear words and the stories from these people that's how they write lyrics. Okay, then in my opinion, yes, I'm gonna say it, you're listening wrong. You're listening wrong.
What's it like? The people
Everybody can be there for a vibe. That's great, but if you're trying to react to dissect something. Why aren't you paying attention to the main focus?
See, the main person that I give a pass on that is actually Nick Nocturnal, only because of the fact that his How to Sleep Token in 30 seconds, How to Electric Callboy in 30 seconds, where like he shows like what the stereotypes are to make songs sound how they are. Dude, especially the covers that he's done with Will, like he understands music very, very well. So it's like where he's like, oh my God, we're doing this now. Like he's somebody that I look at and I go, damn right, focus on the music. You know, that type of thing. But
I get you. Yeah. I get you. But I was just saying is that like you said, as a whole, where it's like, then what are you doing? You know, and so I agree with certain ones like Sleep Token. I'm like, you're listening wrong. I will be that guy. But yeah, going into Missing Limbs.
Yeah, Missing Limbs is, especially if we look, because that's still blowing my mind because I didn't even think about that, where it's like he wants to get out of high water and he can't. But think about it, where he's at. He is regretful, and now he realizes that, because what I have down is regretting. There's regretting compassion. Him just realizing that it's like, this is kind of like the whole get back to me when you can.
Yeah.
Just like, it's like, I'm here. Just let me know if nowadays the outer rounds of heaven don't keep up on the charm offensive anymore, failing to remind you what you're living for. And it's just this longing for this thing that just keeps on fucking hurting him. And to end the album like this.
Yeah.
And for him to say, like, you know, the different things that he does, like, because it still makes my blood run cold to remember what they did before, the stories that you never told to me, that now I'm trapped and I learned more about you. I learned more and I hate what I fucking learned.
I'm looking at something.
Yeah, go for it. It's just, this is one of those songs that is so raw. And I'll be honest, I was kind of shocked that I didn't cry when we first heard it, because I was expecting, like, you know, something like crazy like Bloodsport to happen. But when you really, really dive in and spend a lot of time with this song, it's just, it's devastating, much like the rest, man.
I was right, because it is. It's Chokehold that starts Eden, right?
Yeah.
So how did you just explain Missing Limbs? You took it as the fact of basically like, almost like, with him trying to swim up. What was your notes that you said? Sorry.
He is regretting. There's regret and there's also compassion.
Yeah. Okay. The regret, because he can't, he ends this with Missing Limbs. Bitch has still got him in a chokehold. Start off the first out. She got him out the high water.
Yeah.
But right by the throat, dude.
Yeah. I'll get you out.
I'll get you out.
But I'm going to get you out my way.
Because you got a chokehold on me. So I think that, dude, that's wild. I never put that together with Missing Limbs, and then it's Chokehold that starts the next album.
The only appendage he has left is being restricted.
Basically.
Yeah.
Basically,
obviously
in a sense.
figuratively, because he can still write.
But,
but no, yeah.
Damn. Okay.
This is honestly, I think this is the first time that we were ever exposed to the idea of there being someone else. For us to to understand where he says, and it still makes my blood run thin to remember what you are to him. And that this is no longer him talking about prey and about, the collections, anything. There's one. There's one that she cannot let go of besides Vessel.
And that's where I will briefly end with this part on like not giving too much in the next album, but the fact of digital demons make the night feel heavenly.
Yeah.
I think that's somebody cheating on their phone.
Oh shit, yeah.
I think that's people texting each other behind somebody's back.
Yeah.
That's again personal opinion, guys.
Well, I think that honestly, the fact that there's so much on Eden, which we will get into, but especially the digital symbolism that's there, especially him talking about the different spots in Taking Back to Eden, the actual title track, where it's like, dude, like who thinks of like wording computer shit this way, or like I dangle like cold cuts, like all those different things. Like we have a lot left to go through in Eden. It's an album that we are very, very familiar with, and I'm really excited to bring the trilogy to an end, of having that notch in our belt of that we've been able to deep dive into these. And obviously when even in Arcadia comes out, we're going to do the exact same thing.
100%.
After we spend some time with it, we want to give it the proper chance for us to be able to live with it for a little while, I would say. It's, but not too long, because we want to make sure we do it. But in the same hand is that this has been a roller coaster of different things. We got through it. It's amazing how much that this makes me thankful as to where I'm at, but also the wounds that resurfaces. I know that I'm going to hug my girl tight. I know I'm going to, be just, thanking God every day for what I have and how everything has gone down. And just for anybody that's out there that is going through anything that we've talked about tonight, Eric and I can attest to this, is that we know what it's like to be in that situation and to think to yourself that there's no way out. There is. It just sucks, but it's worth it. It is so fucking worth it. Do not stay trapped. Do not stay under the water. Get out. Swim for land. You have a life ahead of you. Your mental health is too damn important for that to do anything negative to you. So
sometimes you got to cut it off to kill the cancer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I mean, dude, it sucks. And like he just said, like people go through this. We've been through things, and it's always easier said than done. Male, female, friend, family, whatever it is, any type of situations like this, leave.
Yeah.
I know that is hard, and it's
so easy to say.
It's so easy to say, but it's easy to say now that I'm not in it anymore.
Right.
When you can very much have a pulled back view and perspective of the scenario or scenarios, it's a lot different.
Yeah.
It's a lot different.
Yeah, man. Perspective is everything. I want to thank you guys, we both too, for just hanging out with us and getting through this very challenging album, but we did it. We rocked it.
Yep.
And I'm very excited for the next one that we're going to do, which will be Eden. Unless if something crazy happens, Eden is the next episode that we're going to be doing. So if you guys have enjoyed this, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, everything as always. And everybody that's listening to us on Spotify and anywhere else that is just a normal podcast space, we appreciate you. We know you're here, Hearies. We appreciate you so fucking much. And we will catch you guys in the next one. Adios.